So I'm Joe Jofrion. I'm here today with Emily Mutri from Cardinal Health, and we're going to talk a little bit about your experience with Aptitude.
Thank you, Joe. I'm happy to be here.
Excellent. So maybe we could start off, just talk a little bit about how Aptitude has evolved or moved into your contracting process at Cardinal Health.
Absolutely. Cardinal's been utilizing Aptitude for about 9 years, and initially getting that process off the ground took a little bit of time. Now we're at a point where we've kind of matured in that process where everybody in our organization really looks forward to utilizing the tool and knows exactly what they need to do, from our finance, deal modeling folks to our marketing teams to our sales team. We've incorporated that process. So it really only takes us about a week to respond to a bid, which is a really quick process. So we've really enjoyed utilizing the tool as part of our RFP responses.
Okay. So you've talked about how it's incorporated your internal team. Like, how was that evolved over time? How were you able to involve the entire team?
So initially, we weren't exactly sure, the best way to utilize the tool. And now that we've gotten up and using the tool, not only does it provide us insights as to what the actual volume is that the member is willing to put out to bid and what they would like to see, it's allowed us to do accurate cross-referencing and to be able to model what type of savings we'd be able to offer that member. And if we actually do win the bid, which we do quite a bit, so that's why we appreciate utilizing the tool, then we're able to monitor and use it as part of our ongoing sales process. So if a member isn't maybe hitting the commitment threshold, our sales team is able to take that data, have a QBR, and have a good conversation with that particular member to utilize based on real data that they're providing.
What's been the response from the sales team having access to some of that information?
It's actually been really nice because it does allow them that easy conversation. And I would say one of the fun parts of my job, since I'm part of the team that leads our contracting process, is when we get new sales folks in and set up the initial conference call to show them the tool. They're really impressed with it and they're excited about, well, this is an opportunity we didn't even see coming. So sometimes, we get these things dropped in our laps of a bid that's gone out. And so the sales team actually has been pretty excited about the tool.
That's great. So you talked a little bit about the management side of things, right? So once a contract is executed in Aptitude, there's a management section that allows you to monitor the progress of the whatever committed volume that the provider or member may have done. So how does your team utilize that?
The really nice thing about the tool is we get the monthly measurement reports. So that tells us at a very quick snapshot who's green status, who's hitting their commitments, and who potentially is yellow or red status. We need to take a deeper look into it. So we're able to have conversations internally to say, what's actually happening here? Is it something going on with Cardinal with the particular product category that maybe is driving the non-compliance, or maybe it's just one small, doctor's office or something along those lines that gives us an ability to have a conversation.
So when you're having those conversations, they're also seeing that information on the other side. How has that helped with that process of having those conversations, which could be difficult at times when talking about compliance?
Yeah, I think it's actually made it seamless in a way. We have several large groups that leverage the tool that we have a lot of contracts with that are all on the Aptitude platform, be it the Captus relationship that we have or all the Achieve members that are participating there. It really has made that a much more robust conversation around where we have the business or where we don't based on the contracts that we've won through the tool.
Okay. So over the time frame that you've been using Aptitude, can you think of any like success stories that come to mind?
Yeah, there definitely are a number of success stories, where we've able to get our foot in the door, maybe potentially where we haven't had the business or haven't had a lot of business with Vizient. So some of those product categories that we're getting off the ground, that we're looking to maybe get new into the marketplace. Those are definitely things that come to mind. I think some of the best things we've seen are with Captus, with Reveal, and really able to have this transparency of data that we've never had before. Those have been some of the biggest winners of those contracts.
Just kind of as you work with the Aptitude team, like what's that interaction with the Aptitude team like?
Your team is very easy to work with, and we meet quite often to kind of collaborate around how can we solve this particular problem that we're seeing around a contract that's sitting in Aptitude, or here are the bids that are coming up. So we have some insights. We can go back and be prepared when they come. So we definitely appreciate the collaboration, the problem solving. And I know when I have an issue and I go straight to your team, I get a response usually within minutes. So it's a great
All
group of
right,
people
that's
to
great
work
to hear.
with.
We,
Yeah.
we really like working with you as well. And as we bring, new opportunities, to Cardinal, through the platform, uh, have you, what has it done to your overall contracting process about like speed to value, about how long it takes to move something through?
Yes.
How's that helped?
I would think that's probably the biggest benefit for the aptitude tool is we've been able to establish a true process. So as soon as we get a bid in, the finance organization is able to take that and do the cross-referencing and the deal modeling they need to. So within a couple of days, we set up a conference call with all the other constituents in our organization, the sales team that calls on that member, the marketing team, and we're able to say, are there things going on with this particular member that we need to consider as part of this deal? Those conversations and that process prior to aptitude might take months, quite honestly, to gather the data, to get the right people involved. Now we usually are able to execute on a strategy 15 minutes or so. So
Oh,
for
that's
us,
nice.
it's
Yeah.
really nice, and the fact that we know one way or another within 30 to 60 days whether we won the contract or not. So
Yeah.
we see a big benefit.
That's great. You mentioned earlier that you were one of the early adopters of aptitude. As it's evolved over time, can you point to anything that has really stood out about how the enhancement has actually helped you in your process?
Yeah, initially the aptitude tool, I would say, didn't have a lot of maybe the ability for the end users to pull data to be able to take the information and share it more broadly. I know one of the things that your team has done quite a bit as you've listened to the supplier community and a lot of those enhancements is enhanced reporting capabilities, ways to sort information. All of that has been fabulous to be able to take some information and share it because we kind of want to keep it to the people that really need to be there, but we also want to be able to provide the great data to our field teams as well. So that reporting capabilities and some of those enhancements have been able to allow us to do that a lot
Right.
easier.
Obviously, the functionality to assign specific views and access to various members of your team, that obviously helps with that. As we talk about, aptitude, if we were talking, to the audience here at Access, uh, if you were going to, recommend something or why somebody would want to be involved in aptitude, is there anything that you would say to encourage them and say, this is why you should incorporate aptitude into your contracting process?
Sure. As part of the team that calls on Vizient and manages our relationship, quite often I have a job selling internally to our organization, so I can tell them exactly what I do to be able to share the benefits of aptitude. And one, I think, is the absolute data transparency. So the ability for the member and the supplier to see how a particular contract is performing and to already have agreed to terms that are in place is the selling point.
Emily, if you, as you've evolved in the interaction with aptitude for the long period of time that you've been utilizing it, are there any, key takeaways about lessons learned, within, operating within the platform that you could talk to this audience a little bit about?
Sure. Initially, we gave everybody access. We gave all of our field sales access, marketing. And so we started to see a lot of communication and emails come across and realized, this might not be the most effective use of this platform. So over time, what we've learned is that we need to have the direct folks that are responsible for managing these bids have access to the tool and access to the communication. So by streamlining the number of people that we have in the tool, we've been able to come up as a small group team with a really good tight process in order to manage these bids. So that's a key learning. So as soon as that finance person gets that email, within that same day, they're starting to work on what they need to do as far as a finance deal modeling, bid response needs to look like. And I know within the hour, I need to go ahead and schedule a call with the appropriate marketing and field sales folks to let them know they've got a bid coming and that we're going to discuss what that strategy needs to be around that bid. And that has really made that process so much easier to use, so much simpler, and really has shortened that, I would say, bid life cycle down to several months to probably about a week.
Yeah, that's an
Yeah.
amazing, speed to value to where you're able to move through the contracting process, utilize role specific activities within the platform to just, target the teams that actually need to work on different parts of the bid. Emily, I really appreciate you taking time today to share your experience with Aptitude and how you're able to work with that. I know that the the audience attending today, appreciates that as well. Really appreciate your partnership. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Thank you.